How's it going, everyone? We are coming up on the release of Dying Light 2, a game that I am super excited for. It's dropping in a stacked month of game releases in February. Obviously, we've got Horizon, we've got Elden Ring. Dying Light 2 is probably, to most people, number 3. However, that is no shame. People are super excited about the game. I'll be checking it out day one, and we've gotten a bevy of new information over the last few days that I do want to take a look at, give you guys an update on the game, because there's actually a lot to talk about and give you guys a heads up on what to expect out of the game. This isn't a full rundown of all the information, just some of the stuff that has recently dropped. So first of all, I do want to talk about the 500 plus hours comment that was on Twitter that the Dying Light Twitter page put out, and then that would spread like wildfire. I did talk about it in a previous video, so maybe I attributed to that. Thankfully, they did clarify their comments on what that meant. I think the majority of us were like, yo, the game's probably not going to be 500 hours long. There are very few games that are actually 500 hours, even if you try to do everything. You know, there's been a few here and there. However, the Dying Light Twitter account did put out a tweet back on January 10th. This was a week ago. We wanted to clarify our recent communication about the amount of hours required to complete the game. Dying Light 2 Stay Human is designed for players with different gameplay styles and preferences to explore the world to see how they fit. So they have 3 tiers of hours. 20 hours, the amount of time needed to complete the main story. So obviously, if you were thinking that this was going to be a 500-hour experience, start to finish, just going through the main story, I don't think too many people were thinking that, thankfully, but that's not the case, and that probably wouldn't have been the best for the game. I mean, there's a thing that overstaying your welcome is not a good thing. 20 hours is a nice sweet spot that if you just want to go through the main story, I like that. 80 hours, the time needed to finish the main story and all of the side quests. 80 hours is a healthy amount of time to play a game for. Like, 80 hours is a quality experience with a lot of content. If you're dropping $60 on a game and you're getting 80 hours of content, that's a win in my book. If you're the kind of person that just looks at games thinking, how many hours of entertainment, how many hours of content am I going to get out of this game? 80 hours is a slam dunk home run, especially with a game like this that is going to be updated for quite a while. More on that in a little bit. So where did that 500-hour comment come from? Well, 500 hours, time needed to max out the game with all main and side quest choices and endings, checking every place on the map, every dialogue, and finding every collectible. So that is doing a lot. That's even probably more so than just getting the platinum trophy. So yeah, most people probably will not be hitting the 500-hour threshold, but 80 hours is something that I think people are going to be very happy about. I just think that 500-hour comment spread a bit like wildfire, but this is still perfect. We don't need 500-hour long games. 80 hours is a great open world experience as far as content goes. Hopefully that's all quality content. Hopefully it doesn't feel like it's padded outside content and things like that, but happy about an 80-hour overall finish time, and then a 20-hour just straight through the main story. That is something I can get behind. Okay, mentioned the trophies a little while ago. Dying Light 2 trophies have been revealed, and I don't want to go over each specific trophy, but the trophies are pretty standard. You'll get trophies for completing the story, and you don't need to get any specific ending, and then there are trinkets for finding all collectibles and activating all windmills, metro stations, and opening every airdrop. And then you'll also have to focus on your stats, fully upgrading your parkour and combat proficiencies, getting max health and stamina, everything like that. And then there are some trophies that are related to co-op play, but they are very simple. I want to clarify these 2 trophies. Join a co-op session and then kill 100 enemies with at least 2 other players present. That's going to be relatively quick. That's not something that's going to take too much time. I know that some people are going to find that a little bit of an annoyance if they are just like a complete solo player and, you know, they're not inviting other people to play co-op games with them and they want to get the plat trophy. That might be a little bit of a nuisance, but hey, you should be able to do it no problem. And it should be a platinum that's relatively time-consuming, but looks like it's all straightforward, depending on if you want to get the platinum trophy. So that's going to go along with the 80-hour completion time as well. Also, it was noted that the game is looking to be updated for the next 5 years, which that might sound like a lot if you didn't play Dying Light 1, and you might even find that a little bit hard to believe. But Dying Light 1 had significant updates for a long period of time, which was great to see. Yes, it did see some re-releases, but it added relatively important content. Like, the following was a nice extension to the game, had technical upgrades, had a lot of additional content be added to the game, and I imagine something similar to Dying Light 2. Do imagine some of that content's going to be paid content at some point, but I imagine a lot of free updates as well, so that's going to be pretty exciting. Now let's talk about some other information that has dropped about the game in a Q&A. That was with Techland's Timon Smektala. Spoke a little bit about the game. Crossgen, there's not going to be cross-gen play as far as PlayStation 4 players playing with PlayStation 5 players and Xbox One players playing with Xbox Series X players, which I think is an incredible disappointment. He just noted this won't be possible at the launch of the game, but we are working to make it possible after launch. So that's at least good. It is hopefully coming sometime down the line. But in today's climate, I imagine that there are a ton of friend groups where a couple people have a next-generation console, a couple people don't, and that's not even the couple people who don't's fault. It's just really hard to get a next-gen console at MSRP, or they just don't want to drop the money right now, and there shouldn't be a problem with that, and it's unfortunate that cross-play and cross-generational play is not going to be featured right out of the gate, but hopefully that does come at some point, because that is a feature that really should be there. And yes, the game is going to be entirely playable with 4-player cooperative play, so that is a very nice element to the game. If you are looking for a co-op open world experience, Dying Light 2 is definitely going to be offering you that, and it's going to be hopefully a quality co-op title to get into, and I think that could be a lot of fun, slaying some enemies and doing everything like that. I mean, you've got a very lengthy experience to get into here, and being able to play it with 3 other friends, that's going to be quite nice. I do also want to give you guys a heads up that we did get some trailers highlighting the co-op play. There was the Dying Light 2 Stay Human Dying to Know Episode 6. If you want a sneak peek into the cooperative play, that is featured in that trailer, specifically around the 3-minute mark. They talk about it, and yeah, there's some other information in that trailer as well. Dev diaries if you do want to be up to date with some other information about the game. And then also they do showcase some console gameplay comparisons, so that's pretty interesting as well, as far as how the game plays on the PS4, how the game plays on Xbox One X, everything like that, PS5, Series X. I do expect the game to run relatively well on the X1 and the PS4, but obviously on the PlayStation 5 and Series X, the shackles are really going to come off there and should run well. And the PC version is going to be excellent if Dying Light 1 is anything to go by, so that's going to be pretty cool. There was also an official gameplay trailer. As mentioned, the gameplay trailer for that showcases some different gameplay elements, some of the scenery to the game as well, which looks really good. Like, this game has a lot of great lighting effects and very impressive from a visual standpoint. But that is going to do it for me. Again, a lot of Dying Light 2 information has been trickling out over the last few weeks, and it's exciting because we are coming up on the release of the game on February the 4th. Let me know if you guys are picking this game up day one. I know a lot of you guys that are on a budget are going to be relatively selective with what games you pick up over the next month or so. There's a lot of big games coming out because you've got Elden Ring, you've got Horizon, you've got Dying Light 2, King of Fighters 15, and then if you have a Nintendo Switch, Pokemon Legends Arceus is going to be a big release as well. So there's going to be a lot of, like, there's going to be few people that can pick up all of those games, but I think there's going to be a lot of people that have interest in all of those games. But with how the gaming market is, things dropping in price all the time, you know, I do think some people are going to be a bit selective, and I think that's a good idea. But Dying Light 2, from what I've been seeing in the comments section, social media, it seems like this is a game a lot of people will be picking up day one. That's going to do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.